Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday. I know I'm coming in early. I missed yesterday. I had to take a mental day, right? Because sometimes we just need to be there for, ourselves instead of being there for other people. But I am back for day 10 of the $1 Million Baby Plan series. Yes. So at first I was going to try to combine like day 10 and 11 together, but I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that, right? It's really not about having perfect attendance. It's really about staying committed to the 21-day challenge. And even though I had to take a day off yesterday just to get my mind right, I am back today with day 10 of the $1 Million Baby Plan series. And so today we are going to talk about a topic that people are really surprised about. And the topic tonight is going to be discussing, can your child have more than one policy? And the answer is potentially yes. And so today we're talking about how multiple policies work, why some families may do it, and why planning conversations can look differently for every family that's out there. Thank you all for tuning in. I know I usually do 7:30 at night, but I think I'm gonna have to switch it up and try to get y'all in where I can fit y'all in because LC has been going crazy. So I'm just still trying to stay committed to the 21-day challenge. If you are watching this, we are discussing if your child can have more than one plan, which they can. If you are new here, if this is your first live, thank you for tuning in. I am LC, the owner of LC Financial Solutions, where we specialize in helping our clients maximize their wealth, minimize their taxes, and master their legacy. I love these little soundtracks or side of sounds. Give me 1 second. Y'all know I'm not really good with media, baby, so I'm trying to get it together. And so, as we discussed, can your child have more than one policy? And so, having more than one policy does not automatically mean that someone is going to get rich, or you may be doing too much, or you trying to play a system. Sometimes families have different plans and different goals, right? So, for an example, one policy may focus on protection, another policy may focus on planning, and then you may have your child's grandparents who may want to contribute, or the parents may want to contribute and add later. I have a couple clients that actually have, it's like a mother daughter, and then they have the grandchild, and then they go in on a policy together, which is totally fine. And then you got some grandparents who may want to do, a policy on their own. You might have an auntie who want a policy on their child. Now, that doesn't mean that they're trying to plan and plot on your child. It just means they are trying to protect them and future plan for them as well. And honestly, a lot of people don't realize how customizable planning conversations really can be, especially when it involves a child and you being able to plan and protect for their child. As I mentioned before, in almost all of my lives, we want that new old money, right? We want to be able to have new old money. If y'all keep seeing me looking to the side, I'm doing extra stuff. I got three screens up trying to multitask. But um, again, you can have more than one policy for your child. The mother can have a policy on the child, the father can, the grandfather, the aunt, as long as you have permission, of course, from the parent, and the information needed to obtain more than one plan. You definitely can do that. And I honestly would recommend that. That way, the strain isn't just on one person. You all can go in on one plan together, to make it a higher premium, and then that way that cash value can build faster. But sometimes that can get a little bit of sticky depending on if the parents are on good terms, not on good terms, and people paying they have and not paying their half. But if you all want us to get separate policies, I definitely would encourage you all getting separate policies on your children. If you have grandparents who love them, aunties, uncles, encourage them to also obtain a policy, because again, wow, they have multiple policies that can help them in their future. Again, building that cash value, as I talked about on my last live. If you didn't catch my live about cash value, definitely go scroll on my page, look at the last live that I discussed, and you can learn more about cash value within a policy and how you can build it, whether you are building $1 million baby plan for your child or even yourself. Um, and if you got any questions about $1 million baby plan, definitely feel free to reach out in my inbox, and we can set up an appointment to move forward from there. And speaking of, again, multiple policies, there has to be a conversation had with the family, right? So this is why communication matters as well, because sometimes parents contribute, grandparents contribute, godparents, aunties, uncles, cousins may want to help you contribute to that policy. It does take a village to, raise a child. And so even if you have a child and you're paying the $33, sorry, my kids in the back turning up, but if you have a policy that you say, hey, you know what, I can only do $33 a month for my child, let me go ahead and hit up my auntie. Let me go ahead and hit up the uncle and the cousin to see, hey, you got about $5 you can, spare every month, to help me pay this policy for this child that we love so dearly. Come together as a village. And so that way, again, it doesn't seem too out of reach, especially if you have multiple kids, because if you have multiple kids, that's multiple policies. And I know people, I only have two children, so I know people who have four or five children. So even though $33 may seem not like a lot, but if you have multiple children, $33 add up really quick. And so if you have that village, then talk to them about that discussion about getting your child covered as well, because as we discussed in a recent most live, your child's health can change. Heck, your health can change at any time. And you want to make sure that you are prepared and protected for your child, because most families want to be a part of building something when it comes to their child's future and legacy and generational wealth. A lot of us want generational wealth, but a lot of us are not having that conversation together to actually obtain the generational wealth, right? We say that we want it, we talk about it maybe with a friend or two, but we're not sitting down at family reunions where we got the whole families together where we can explain how to build generational wealth. If you do have a family reunion coming up, because it is the summertime, and if y'all want me to come to y'all family reunion to talk about generational wealth, cash value, retirement planning, so we can all get on one accord and start building that new old money, hit me in my DM and just say reunion, baby. I got you. I can do a private lesson for you and everything. Back to the conversation. Again, I think it's really beautiful when a family can come together for the children, because legacy does not always have to come from one person and one person alone. Typically, legacy and dynasties are built off of multiple people, not just one people. It's not just one person building this. It's a family, it's a village, it's a whole slew of people coming together for one goal, which is to build generational wealth, to make sure that their child is doing better or can do better than they have been in life. And so now, like I said before, starting small is okay. You don't have to have a policy to where you're paying $200 to $300 a month. You don't have to have a policy where you're paying $500 a month. I had a client who paid $400 a month, but that's because that's their budget. It is okay to start small. And so, again, let me say this clearly, it is okay to start small. That does not mean everybody needs multiple policies. Everybody, needs something expensive, or everybody needs to rush into anything. Some coverage is better than no coverage, because sometimes starting with one conversation is enough. If you're actually able to speak to your village about, okay, we need to get this because this is important not only to our children, but to our family, and how we build generational wealth, and how we create these $1 million babies. If you want $1 million baby, again, start small. You don't have to start with $300 a month. You might only have $33 a month to spare for your child, and that's okay, because just because you are in the financial situation that you are in today doesn't mean you're going to be in that tomorrow or next year. Who knows? You might be able to afford $33 now, and then next year you can probably afford $333. So it really, again, starting small is always the way to go. You don't always have to dive in into something that's heavy, something that's deep, something that you feel like you may be able or may not be able to obtain. One thing I do when I have planning sessions with my clients, I always ask about a budget. I always do a financial needs analysis. What you got going on? What your money look like now? Do you got debt? What does your money look like, so we can actually see what you can afford comfortably, because I don't want these $1 million baby plans to feel like it's another bill. I don't want you to feel like you have to make a decision whether you're going to pay your light bill or your $1 million baby plan. Like, no, I want this to be able to fit into your budget so well that it's money that you're not going to miss. And also, you're still building cash value. So even when you do need the money in the future, it will still be there, right? And honestly, some parents are just now learning. Some, even us, I feel like the millennials, we are the new generation of business owners. We are the new generation of building wealth, trying to find different ways and not just retire from a job from being there for 30, 40 years. We are that new generation that is trying to figure it out and crack the code. And it's okay to crack the code when you are trying to figure it out. But when you have people that can help you crack that code, build that village, because your village may not always be family. I had a business bestie who turned into my actual real best friend. Like, we really locked in just based off of, again, us building a relationship, because we were business at first. It was business friends, and then we turned into like, okay, no, we real friends, and then it turned into like, okay, this is a best friend. And again, that is part of my village. If she needs something, she can call me. If I need something, vice versa. And so when it comes to having multiple policies, you don't need to have multiple policies by yourself. You don't need to be able to pay for these multiple policies by yourself. Have your village, have your family to say, hey, you know what, let's go ahead and put this together for, little Christina. I just made that name up. But let's go ahead and put this together for little Christina, because we need to actually start building generational wealth. We need to see what this looks like. We need to start legacy planning for our children. We already know, like I said, gas $20 a gallon, milk $5 a gallon. Like, everything is getting expensive. We need to have these plans set in place so we are able to maneuver and shift when we need to, and also helping building that cash value so we can always have money to the side. I'm a firm believer in having multiple bank accounts. FDIC only cover up to $250,000. After that, however much money you got in after that is not covered. Move around. I love having multiple bank accounts. I do have multiple bank accounts. That's just me. I don't have one bank. I have multiple bank accounts. I got a couple different type of savings accounts. I'm building cash value. I'm building different nest eggs to build money on something that I can build a safety net on. If you only have your job and that is all that you are depending on, that safety net is not going to be as thick and it's going to break. Learn how to invest in multiple nest eggs. And that's why I am here today and doing this 21-day live challenge to not only talk about the $1 Million Baby Plan, but to also help you build new old money for you and your family. And so that's what I want us to come to you all with tonight or this evening. You all know I do not stay on these lives for long. And so the question that I'm going to leave you all with this evening is, before this live, did you know that children could have potentially have more than one policy? Because a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't even know adults can have more than one policy. People feel like, oh, once you have that one life insurance policy, then that's all you need. Like, no, you can have multiple. You can do a term policy, because term policies get you more bang for your buck. Now, is it building cash value? No, but you can get a $200,000-$300,000 policy for maybe $50 a month, depending on your age and health. Don't quote me, but if you want to quote, go ahead and slide in my DM. But you can have that $1 Million Baby. I mean that term policy that's for $300,000-$400,000. You can have a permanent policy that is actually building cash value, and the premium stays the same and it never expires. When you have permanent or whole life insurance, it never expires. Temporary term policies is usually you can do a 5, 7, 10, 15, 25 type years on that. Even 30 years, depending on your age and health. Sometimes some carriers will allow you to do a 30-year term policy. But again, term policies does not build cash value, but it's nice to have that. And you can even do mortgage protection for your home. So you can get a mortgage protection policy on your home that's maybe $200,000-$300,000. And if something happens to you, then guess what? Now they can use one policy to pay for your home. Then they can use another policy to lay you to rest. And then you can use that other policy to actually build that generational wealth. And sometimes you can do that for a little of nothing, again, depending on your health, your age, and where you are in life. But again, a lot of people don't know that a child can have more than one policy, and a lot of people don't know that adults can have more than one policy. I would encourage more than one policy so your money can do multiple things. Again, that's multiple nest eggs. Again, if something happens to me, I know my children are covered as long as the money is being spent how it's supposed to spend. My kids will be covered until they're like 18, 19 years old. I don't have to worry about that, and again, that's just me. I like multiple policies. I like multiple bank accounts. I like multiple retirement plans because I need the most money that I can get as soon as I can get it. And that is all that I have for you all tonight. I will be back here tomorrow as well. Going ahead doing a live. I don't know if I'm gonna do it at 7:30 like I normally do, but I am going to be on here every day to get these lives out to talk about this $1 Million Baby Plan. If you are interested in a $1 Million Baby Plan cash value, to see how it works, to see what your budget can look like. If you say, hey Tish, I got $50 a month, what can we do with it? I can show you different illustrations to show you what we can do with that $50 a month, and show you how it can work for you and how you can still build your $1 Million Baby policy. Now, will you get there as fast as maybe others? Maybe not, but you shouldn't be looking at the competition anyway. You only look in your lane and only focus on you, and the only competition out there is you. You're only racing against you. So what's the rush? There's no need for the rush. Again, thank you all for tuning in. If you see this, go ahead and put replay in the chat. If you caught it live, go ahead and put it live in the chat. If you know someone who may be interested in this, go ahead and share this. Again, summertime is coming up. Y'all having family gatherings. Y'all want to talk about legacy planning, generational wealth, hit me in my DM. I can come to y'all. I got a computer. I can do a PowerPoint. I can put it on a TV. Now everybody got at least a 50-inch in the living room, right? So I can come in, put that on for you all, explain it to you and your family to just get your mind turning in that and just thinking about how can you start building generational wealth. Again, thank you all for joining me on this 21-day live challenge of the $1 Million Baby Plan series. If you all have any questions, please feel free to slide in my DM, Google LC Financial Solutions, send me a 24-hour text line or text me at my 24-hour text line at 630-278-3272. And I appreciate you all for joining in, tapping into my lives, liking my lives, commenting, engaging with me. I really do appreciate that. And I hope you all have a great evening. The weekend is coming up. Memorial Day. Y'all be outside. Y'all acting well. Go ahead and get some life insurance before the weekend come in. If you all have, again, any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to reach out. Y'all already know I love giving out this information. I'm definitely very informational and passionate about the things that I talk about and the things that I do here within LC Financial Solutions. So if you all do have any questions, comments, just a thought, go ahead. Please feel free to slide in my DM. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night.